Well, welcome everybody to our elevation call for our Wellness Mastery Quest. This is our second episode, and we are so excited because we have some guest speakers here today. And I'm just going to jump right into it and welcome here. I think I see most of you guys. We still have some people that are joining, but I have some special guests that I wanted to introduce because I have one of our team members that had asked me this week, and we're just training her. She's just new to the team. And she said, Hey, she said, do you have any pet stories about how these products impact pets? And I said, Well, yes, I've heard a lot over the years, but there are two people who, when somebody asks me about pets, I think about two of the kindest leaders that I know, and that's Sandy and Kathy. And many of you guys, if you've been around Zalise at all, know who these two amazing people are. But one of the things that I remember, and how from as early as I can remember, going way back, Zalise, is that Sandy and Kathy were two of the nicest people. And I was always like, wow, everybody around here is so nice. Like we're not even on the same team. And they just always remembered our names and they were so kind. And so we have really gotten to know each other better. Been on advisory councils together. But these guys are in Florida. They actually live in Indiana, but they're in Florida at a dog show. And I wanted to bring you guys on. Just thank you so much for being here, Sandy and Kathy. Do you have anything you want to add
Yeah,
to that?
I just wanted to say we love you guys and we appreciate you. And I want our team to know that Sandy and Kathy have been a significant part of the field's advisory council. Like
Thank you.
they have sacrificed by
Mm.
scheduling their dog shows, which is their livelihood, and they have made special trips all the way across the country, trying to include their work as they travel. And when I mean work, I mean like their dog shows that they do for their income. And they have just served with wisdom and insight, not just about pets, but just about life and health, and
Mm.
just tremendous contributors for the last what I know
Nine,
y'all been in
eight
Zalise
years.
longer than I have, but as far as the advisory council, you guys have been served on that for at least 2 years, maybe three. I don't
Yes.
know. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
At
anyway, I
least
just want,
two.
yeah,
And one of the things I love about you guys, because one of the things we're going to talk about tonight is just how this business we grow this business in inches,
Mhm.
not in huge leaps and bounds. And you guys have just demonstrated leading from heart, being authentic in your leadership, being the kind of leader that you just are. And you have given that a voice and advocacy.
one more thing too is that Lisa and I know for me for sure, and because we never really talked about this, but as Elise with Luis and Bo and Angie and Christy and other people were trying to create and refashion our compensation plan. I said, look at Sandy and Kathy, what they have done out in the field, creating VIP customers who they meet at their dog shows as they travel the country, and those are going to be just product takers for their pets. They're not going to be big volume. They're not going to be big builders. So consider people like that, and let's make sure that they get compensated. They get paid, like they get paid. They make a good income from what they've been doing for years. And I don't know where you guys are with that, but I would say it's probably changed, hasn't it? Your
Oh,
actual
yes. Yeah.
income
It's been
because of the new
significant.
comp, yeah, because of the new compensation plan. And you
Right.
and y'all are just doing what you've done with
Mhm.
customers
Right.
and getting people on product and keeping them on it, and just using, you know, people using product. And so you guys have had, I think, a significant impact on the present and future of Zalise because of your consistency and how you've brought customers to Zalise. So
So,
anyway,
so what we would
Thank you.
love to hear is just your story. Why Elise for you guys, first of all? So, just tell us how you got connected to the company and why you joined.
Well, first, I want to
Thanks for
say
having us.
thank you so much for having us and your kind words. And we know we love you.
Yeah.
And you can get better folks to have a team leader with,
Right.
in Hal and Lisa, amazing people. And I just love all the effort that you put into your community. It's amazing and beautiful. So thank you for, sharing this night with us.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate that.
Yeah,
You
so
guys
we
are the rock
started
stars.
with we started I had some health issues, and it was actually our insurance agent. She had a wellness company as well, and she turned us onto the products. And so Sandy and the dogs tried it out first before I did, because we just weren't sure. But in particular, we had a dog named Peaches who was an AM staff, and she had really bad allergies. When she got older, she had dementia, doggy dementia. And it was really these products that gave her another quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
We were actually able to take her off her medication and leave her on these products. And after that, we were
Yeah,
sold.
absolutely. And we've been in the pet industry for over 21 years. So we actually boarded people's dogs and cats when they went on vacation. We did that for a long time.
Right.
And actually, because of the leads and last year, with the support of that, it helped us in that career as we were actually making this one move forward. It's baby steps. Like you said,
Right.
we did it incrementally. You always want to have somewhere to go before you leave the previous place. You know how that goes, right? So, and that's what we did. And we just stuck with it, and made our heart full, because we were able not only to support the animals in our life, but the people too that were interested, and it also helped us financially and to make some better decisions. And some of that income has been well worth the effort.
Absolutely.
And I think that we would love that we continue to share the opportunity with folks as they come into our booth every day.
Mhm.
We started doing the dog shows in 2019, and that's where we began.
Mhm.
One little table. It was all Zalee's products, and we went to our first show, and then now we have a mobile supplement company that we actually take to dog shows.
Mhm.
So we incorporated it into something that we love to do. That's what we say. You got to find the niche, the thing that makes your heart sing, and find that and just keep doing it day after day after day. And like Hal said, we service to some of the same group of people, and we go to different places all over the country now. We have more
Right.
freedom to do that now that we don't have our brick and mortar store that was actually holding us in one location.
Yeah.
And what a huge blessing. And we've been on, like I said, we've been on a couple events now, which is our first cruise
Yep.
ever in our life, and that was pretty neat. And that was all because of the leads and the efforts that we put into it. So there's a lot of pathways to get there.
Yeah. And
Well,
it's
that
really about
is,
your purpose.
Yeah.
And
yes, keep going, Kathy.
and we've been doing this a while now, but even in the boarding business, in any business that you build, it's about trust. And the people that know us come to us and buy stuff from us because they trust us. And then they go and tell all their friends, "Hey, you need to go talk to these girls." We're known as the Funny Farm gals, because we're Funny Farm Nutrition.
Yeah.
So, and they'll just and that happened here in Florida. We were not sure who would be here. There were several handlers that knew us, but by the end of the weekends, there's lots of people that get to know us.
Yeah.
And that's really how we've continued to build the business and get invited to other shows, because our passion and our purpose shows through how we listen
Yeah.
to them and care for them. And we tell everybody, we don't care if you buy anything from us.
Yeah.
If we can help you, we will.
Yeah. You know what? It's
That's
about and the connection of all the folks that over just we believe in giving first, and then you can receive, tenfold back. So we try to help and serve the best that we can, and we allow those folks to make their own decisions. So that's what it's really about. It's not about a push and shove or anything like that. It's just about generally caring about the people around you and their pets.
well, and that's really, I have two questions. One of them is really, I would love for you guys to talk about just, there's no FTC personnel on this call. So you don't have to worry about that. But I would love just to see what kind of results you've seen with pets. I'm so focused on adults, but we know that any anything with a vertebrae has an endocannabinoid system. And so I'd love to know a little bit about what you've seen with that. And then I have one other question before we
Sure.
open it up. So tell us a little bit
Sure.
about some of the results you've seen with pets, if you would.
I think for me, we've seen at the dog shows because we're on our own little community, so we can keep seeing them over a several day period, which is wonderful. And we actually give them, we'll sample the product for them, and some of those results that we're seeing is some of them are pretty immediate. It could be as short as 15 to 20 minutes, and you can actually see a dog change its demeanor, like being calmer, a little more focused, not so reactive to the noises in the room. So we've seen it happen that fast to over a whole weekend. It might take that long or longer. But the amazing thing is we keep seeing it over and over again. So we've seen them settle. We had a big Connie Corso, just as one. She was about 9 months old, not socialized, as at a dog show.
Yeah.
And there was other things that just happened in life that she didn't get to go out when she needed to feel more comfortable in her space. Way overwhelmed, wouldn't come in the booth at first. We actually spent an hour with her right at the dog show. Took time with her. Kate, we would give her a little bit of a serving. We're micro dosers. We gave her a little bit of serving, and a little bit 15, 20 minutes later, we give her another little bit of serving. We actually got her to come into our booth and lay down, and she actually let me touch her mouth and put another serving size in her mouth on about the last hour. So that was huge because she should have taken my arm off.
I was going to say, how big is that dog's head?
That dog's about 100 pounds.
Yeah, that's a puppy. Yeah.
That's a
Wow.
big dog.
Yeah.
We had another lady at a show that had a poodle that had some sort of hip muscle issues, and the vet had her on some pretty good medication, but they were not seeing the results. And she went home and used a bottle for about 2 weeks and called us in a panic because she was out. And so
it was a giant.
yeah, a standard poodle,
big dog.
and she found that it helps her, and it's still helping her.
Yeah.
And so we're finding it even in the human world, as you see, lots of people don't want to do medicine anymore. It's the same in the pet community, especially in the dog show world. They don't want to use medications for them. They're really trying to find natural solutions. And so the CBD, CBG, the Vibe really provides a lot of that. The turmeric we use a lot, and the melatonin. Some dogs just use melatonin only, and get a result.
They're just as unique as we are. And one other story, real quick, was with Dr. Jolie, who actually came to one of our events in Virginia way back when, like 5 years ago. And we had a vendor who had a small poodle, a little miniature poodle, have a seizure. And Dr. Jolie was actually there. And we went back to our booth, and we had CBG and CBD separately, and we were able to rub that on the poodle's gums, and we helped settle her from a seizure. So I wouldn't say that normally, but I'll say it in this group. And so Dr. Jolie was there with us and had that happen.
And we've done that with the shepherd in our kennel.
Yes.
Was on a different CBD, kept having seizures. We unfortunately broke their bottle. It was
Not
a
on
mistake,
purpose.
not on purpose. And started using ours, and it stopped.
Yes.
And
it was a 100-pound shepherd. It was a big dog.
Yep.
Wow. That's incredible. Well, I know that there's going to be some questions for you guys on this, but Sandy, you know what I'm going to ask you next has nothing to do with dogs, but it has everything to do with your transformation with BeFit. Tell us a little bit about how you guys have done with the human BeFit product.
Oh, wow. You know what? First off, I had to make a decision. I was looking for something and hoping that, because I totally was out of control eating. But what happened was I decided to make this when BeFit came along. I was like, this is it, Kathy. We're going to do this together. Right. And it helped to do it together.
Yeah.
But I followed the program. That's so huge to say this, that I drank my water, I ate better, and I stopped eating after 7. I also stopped eating bread and what was the other? Sugar. What was that? Well, how can I forget sugar, right?
Sugar's the devil.
There it is. So, and then the first month I lost 20 pounds. So that was amazing. And I worked really hard at doing that. We were so active. I wasn't necessarily being like exercising active, but we're pretty active anyway. And that made a huge difference in my life. But it wasn't only that, my joints, oh my word, because I take all these products and adding Be Fit to it made a huge difference. I could get up and down on my knees now from the floor, which is huge for me. But and then at the end of probably I forget maybe 3 to 4 months, I'd lost 38 pounds.
And she
So
has clearer cognition now.
I do. I'm remembering names a little better. So there's a lot of impact that BeFit has for us, and I take it every day. Actually, I take it twice a day.
Mhm.
Do you really? You take
I
two
do.
doses or just divide it?
I did. I put one in the morning, one in the evening, and if that's when I, especially if I'm misbehaving, I'll add a third one. I will. I'll tell you.
I
So,
know
and I've
Zalise
been doing
says
pretty well.
you're their very favorite ambassador using 2 to 3 V-fits a day. Do you want to ask
Mhm.
anything at all, or are you okay opening it?
I don't think so. I just, they have many, many more stories. I know y'all mentioned Dr. Jolie Jarbo. For those of you that are new, Dr. Jolie is, y'all know her credentials. What are her credentials again? Because they're very specific and unique.
Yeah, she's actually a surgical vet neurologist. So she actually does brain and spinal surgery on our pets. And she's one of like 400 folks in the world that does what she does. So
Yeah.
she's very big deal. Very big
But
deal.
she
Yes,
was
she
on our
is.
medical advisory board and really had a
She
huge impact and
She
input,
did.
plus a product user, product sharer.
yeah.
Again, on another, I guess, on y'all's group, I don't know in some way, but um, just to let the new people know that that's the
Yeah.
caliber. Like Dr.
Mhm.
Stephen Todd is on our team and on the medical
Mhm.
advisory board. Many of y'all
Yeah.
know Carrie Suits,
Right.
have heard her, but we have an actual medical advisory board from the field that has
Mhm.
input impact on bringing new products, making sure that what we have is the highest standard and quality that we can have. And so, um,
Yeah.
anyway,
Well, thank you
And
guys.
oh yeah.
Yes, Sandy, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and we all these folks are nowhere near connected in our group or team. We just crashed parties and said, we're gonna go show up anyway.
You are
So
welcome to crash our party anytime. Just
so we
just so
showed
you know.
up at Jolie's place in Louisville and said, yeah, this is the person I want to go see, and we're gonna go see her.
Yeah.
So
Now we're good buddies. We
yeah,
hang out.
yeah.
So
so I do have one more question, and this is really super personal, okay, with you guys. But you mentioned Sandy's and Sandy, you
Hmm.
mentioned your memory.
Hmm.
I want you to know that before BeFit came out, we had some advisory council, conversations among us, just expressing what's going on in life, right? Because that's who we are. We tell each other our life stories, and we care about each other. Um, and Sandy, your memory, which I would call what cognitive function, I don't know what the proper
Yeah,
word is. Is that right?
yeah, yeah.
You've
Yes.
seen both of you have seen a significant improvement with that.
Hmm.
Um, and yet you were already on Zalease CBD products, which we have heard great stories of that from other people about that. Do you think the sugar impact, getting it out of your body, has helped with that?
I think it's a.
Oh,
I think so. Yeah.
I absolutely believe that.
Yeah.
So, because what else could it be? I mean,
Mhm.
besides the BeFit that's helping us, it's actually helping us process the fat that we are taking in, but we're also the lack of the sugar is also helping. I agree with that. Yes, I do.
Yeah. So that's kind of a side note for understanding of the function of
Mhm.
BeFit is if it helps reduce the amount of sugar and things like that we put into our
Mhm.
bodies,
Mhm.
the not so much immediate but long-term impact is reducing that brain inflammation and so forth through the sugar. So again, that's my very non-scientific way of understanding it, but I've learned a lot from Lisa and from people like y'all. So
Well, and one of the things I also want to congratulate you guys on is maxing out the customer growth bonus,
yeah,
which we're going to talk about on this call tonight. So,
Call her.
hey, it's a team, man. It's
It
a
is.
team, but you guys have maxed that $2,000 customer growth
and
bonus.
I got to tell you, I get more excited for y'all when y'all
Oh,
get that because you deserve it so much. You deserve to
Oh,
get
thank
that
you.
that
Thank you.
particular bonus, and it's really to me, it's so encouraging to see that, and that people don't have to be huge team builders, but they got to do
Mhm.
something. They got to do something consistently, and y'all have done
Yeah.
that.
And
Thank
so
you. Thank you.
thank you so much, you guys. I'm going to just ask you to stay like one more minute because I want to introduce Shayla. Shayla, she just joined us. She actually lives in Rogers, Arkansas. And Shayla, can you get on screen and just say hi to these guys?
Yes, I can. Can you see me now?
Yes, I can see you. And Shayla is amazing. She actually started her career as a naturopath and then she shifted over to corporate America. And look, she's got a pet in her lap. Isn't that appropriate for the conversation? But Shayla is in training right now and she has a launch meeting tomorrow at her house. And her question to me was, tell me what you know about what this does for pets. And I'm like, you know what? I can do something better than that. I can get you the rock stars of the pet world, and you can ask her, Sandy and Kathy yourself. So, any other questions, Shayla?
Man, I dosage is probably my main question when you're talking about the for human vibe, which is what Lisa and I talked about for bigger dogs because my shepherd is 120 pounds. And how much have you been dosing for that?
Well, we're microdosers. So if a dog is like 100 pounds, that means it's about a drop per 20 to start with, and that's 5 drops. So we would start
Okay.
with 4 to 5 drops,
Mhm.
and we do it twice a day for maintenance. But if we're doing it situationally, we can start with those 4 to 5 drops, wait 15 or 20 minutes, and add some more. So because
Okay.
you have a lot of flexibility. And remember, we've talked about big dogs, but little dogs are the same way because we've done 3 or 4 pound, chihuahuas or even pom poms. We start small, but it's their balance that you're looking for. So we can have a dog that's that little that may need 4 or 5 drops, right?
Mhm.
Which would be amazingly a lot for that little dog, but it really depends on what we're looking for.
And we strictly use just the vibe.
Yeah.
When it comes to the CBD product, that's what we use at all the dog shows and with our own dog. We found that it helps all the way to small to the big giant guys. We've even helped a lady with, I think it was a possum one time. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're never using the pet one then?
No, I'm not. Only because for us it's the most universal and it's also people friendly. So it makes
Yeah.
it easier for us to do either or at a dog show.
Mhm.
And the flavor. The flavor of the pet. The other one is a fishy flavor,
Salmon.
salmon. Yeah, so that doesn't always suit to every need for when it
Yeah.
comes to dogs. So we like the vibe, and like I said, we've done that when vibe was separate. It used to be CBG and CBD. We always used that system since it came out.
Mhm.
So not just CBD because there's just too much benefit for the two of them together.
Okay. And you mentioned turmeric and melatonin as well for the animals. So that's not sold by BeFit though, right? Or by Zillow,
Release? It
right?
sure is. And
Uh-huh.
and
By
it's one of
itself?
them is called Dream, and it's
Oh, okay. So
melatonin
using
and it's
Dream.
melatonin and GABA. And Ultra Ice is the turmeric and shiitake mushroom blend. And we
Okay.
use the same kind of serving size to start with, and then we adjust as needed.
Yeah. Now, if you've got smashed faced
Yeah.
dogs, bulldogs, Frenchies, those kind of boxers, we even microdose even less because if a dog is gonna have a reaction, it's gonna be that breed, according to Dr. Jolie, because they are smash faced, and so we always go slower with them.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
We
my
learned that from Dr. Jolie.
my other question has nothing to do with dogs, but I'm testing different drinks with BeFit, and you're taking a lot of it. So what do you put it in?
I just put it in water. I've had other people put it in their tea. I've had it and put it in their smoothie.
You put it with your Propel.
But I put Edge and Amalaki and I'll put Beef Fit in there together sometimes. Sometimes I don't. But I use Amalaki and Edge with water.
Mhm.
And sometimes I put it with my flavored Propel drink.
Mhm.
Repel. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yes.
that.
Oh
You
yeah.
guys are just fountains of wisdom. It's spewing.
Yes.
Any other quick questions for Sandy and Kathy, guys?
Hey, I've got one. Hey guys, what do
Yeah.
you find the turmeric beneficial for? I mean, I love that. I love that the ice product, but is anything specific, Sandy and Kathy, that y'all use that for?
We actually do. We use it for joint supports, definitely, and then the immune boosting quality. We've used that combination of Vibe and turmeric to help with some of our dogs with end of a life cancer kinds of things. So we've helped them support their quality of life at end of life. So we've done that several times
Yeah,
to help support
the
them.
mushrooms are a really big deal in human wellness as well as dogs now. And so that's the nice thing with the turmeric is that it's got the shiitake mushroom with it,
And
which
the
is a great
dosing is the
immune booster.
same,
We
ladies, as
do.
okay.
We do the same thing in
Yeah.
the dosage. Turmeric, you could do it more. You could have a higher dose because of it's herbal and fine. But we just stick with the same kind of serving
Yeah.
size and work our way up to where we think it so the dog has the impact that we're looking for.
Yeah.
Because usually we're looking for something. We know that it's the whole immune system and our systems in our bodies are being impacted and balanced. But people are looking for things they can see, and we've had it where we've used Vibe and turmeric or the ice together at a dog show to help them stop limping to
Right.
be able to go around the show ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
And
how well does that turmeric, that ice go with a Westie with its white coat and you get that orange all
Yeah,
over?
well, well, we don't usually use that with the white dog.
no, we try not to, right? Yeah.
So that would be bad.
Yeah. But they call turmeric the Swiss Army knife of supplements when it comes to dogs because it does so much.
That's interesting. I didn't even know that. So, my last question for you guys is really just who taught you all this stuff?
We just Kathy's a huge researcher, and she researches all our products that go in our booth, and that experience, I rely on a lot. And then the Zalee's products, a lot of that came from just uh, listening over and over again what people like you, Lisa, and Dr. Carey and the Todds talk about those products, and it's so valuable to get on those training calls and those things. That's where I learned a lot of it from the Lee side of
Right.
things, and that it was so invaluable to us.
Well, that and
And
Dr.
then
Jolie
and then yeah,
and Dr. Emily.
and then this
And
the
Dr.
experience of
Susan.
doing it day after day after day and doing what we love. I love to learn and help and serve and take care of our kiddos who's asleep in the bed over there. So, but yeah, that's where we got it from.
Well, any last questions before we let Sandy and Kathy go party like rock stars that they are?
Thank you, ladies, for your time. We're very appreciative.
Oh, good to hear from you, Dr. Jenny.
Well, listen, you guys, y'all have been amazing, and
As always.
as always, we love y'all. We're inspired by you, and we're talking today about how this business has actually grown in inches. And as much as we would love touchdowns and fireworks and all the things, it's grown in the quiet shadows of what you have done and demonstrated and led with, which is just quiet serving, researching, and practicing over and over
Yeah,
and over again.
consistency.
Consistency and what you do, and then giving to us. So thank you so much for being here. We can't wait to see you guys again. And on behalf of just our Wellness Mastery Quest, which is what we call our group that's working this business. Thank you so much from the bottom of our heart.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
We love y'all.
Love
Thank
Love
y'all.
you guys.
See you in
Thank you so
Cancun.
much.
Yes.
See you in
Go
Cancun.
IU.
That's right. See you in Cancun.
Go
Be
IU.
I go on you.
Go IU.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Well, welcome everybody. I see some new faces that we would love to just kind of introduce our team, and that was wonderful to have Sandy and Kathy. They are just very dear to us, even though I did not build a team that pulled them in. So they actually were from a totally different team, and so they don't really benefit from our volume, our team volume, and so it was really just a kind thing. Shayla, that your question prompted me to reach out to them and just pull in that expertise. So so let's go ahead and start, Shayla, with you. We already had you kind of in the spotlight here. So tell us who you are and why is Elise for you.
So I am a person that lost her job from a restructure at Tyson. I worked there for over 20 years, gave my blood, sweat, and tears to them, and they chose to let me go during the last restructure and bring in a couple young guys. And so I decided after hundreds of different applications and stuff to companies, when I talked to Lisa and met her, that I wanted to research the lease. I had been a doctor of naturopathy for about 7 years in my younger days, and it was fantastic. I would have probably stayed in it forever had I not gotten married and divorced. And he made me sell my business, give away all my stuff. And so it was just, a major life change that ended up bringing me to Arkansas. And so my kids have been saying, Mom, you need to get back into the health food business. And telling me that for probably at least 2 or 3 years now. My kids are 22 and 30. So when I say kids, my son's a police officer and my daughter's a substitute teacher. And I knew that I wanted to help people. I've always loved helping people. At Tyson, I could help people with their work and make things more efficient and better and easier and stuff. But with health, you can just help people all the way around. And so it's always been a passion of mine. I've continued on helping people, just doing it for free while I've been working at Tyson versus paying them for consultation or charging them for consultations. So, learning about Zalise and the product, I went to the meeting 2 Saturdays ago and muscle tested the products, and they were all testing good. And I just really kind of fell in love with Lisa and the concept and the whole culture of the business. And so decided that this would be a great thing to do. I also rarely spend the money. I'm very frugal, rarely spend the money on trips for myself. And I save and save and save because I know my children will need my money once I pass away. And so having the opportunity to actually have a trip paid for with a company is even that much better and fun. So I've really just been having a dream, I think, and a passion to help people to a bigger extent lately. And I feel like God's just pulling me in that direction versus letting me just have the easy route and going and taking a job with, 6 digits and insurance. So I'm excited for everything. And thank you for hearing my story.
Well, welcome to our team. And these guys, a lot of these guys are battle tested. We'll introduce you just kind of one at a time, but they might have a little bit of advice, knowing that you have your launch tomorrow, or at least your first launch. A lot of us launch all the time. We just continue to keep launching and launching, right? In fact, I might just pull Judy Baker on, because one of the people I wanted to shout out to is Judy, who entertained corporate. Luis flew into Evansville and then over to Grayville, Illinois this week. So Judy Baker, any kind of advice you have for Shayla with her first launch tomorrow?
Well, my first thought is run, run, girl, run.
Forward or backward, Judy? Forward or backward?
No. Yeah, it's scary. I'll admit that it's scary. I had a lot of it took up a lot of my mental the week before, but it works. Luis comes in, he's absolutely so natural and so good, and he's just so calming, and everything is wonderful. Carrie was there to help support, and she gave us some great information. Susie, of course, was there to help, and Amanda, my most immediate downline, showed up. We had a great meeting, a wonderful success. I had one visitor. That was it. Yay. And she bought something. And something that Sandy and Kathy made the comment about, Mary didn't necessarily understand everything that was being said about the products, but she said, "Oh, I don't." And then Louise started talking to her about the business, and she said, "Oh, I don't care about that. I just want to take the product, and I trust Judy." Trust.
Wow.
So so she did, but yeah, it's you make your plans. You hope you're going to have 30, and one shows up, but that's okay because you're still reaching one, and I call it a success for two reasons. First of all, because I did it and lived through it. And secondly, because, hey, at least I had somebody there and uh, there were a lot of people that didn't show up that knew I was doing it. And I got a couple of phone calls off of it that can't be there, but I want to talk to you later. So, all that works. So good luck, girl.
Thank you.
And Judy, tell us, you started this business because your sister kind of drug you into it in a way. But you are a school teacher, and so you
Yes.
love teaching and educating people on health. But your why changed a little bit. Do you mind telling us a little bit about that?
Okay. I did not want to be a business builder. Had no intention of being a business builder, just wanted to. When people would say this hurts or that hurts or I'm having trouble, I would say, hey, I've got a product that can help you with that if you're interested. If they said yes, I talked to them. If they didn't, I walked away. And then in 22, Curry died, my husband, and I was doing a lot with helping Susie and helping her with hers. And I decided that, okay, in fact, I made it a prayer request. I said, Lord, if I'm going to do anything with this, it's going to be you. So lead the way. And it's amazing the people that just accidentally show up, that just happen to say something. And so I've started, and those people that just wanted to buy something and not work, it's like Hal said a while ago, just customers. And I got a fantastic bonus off of that. I could not believe it. I did a jaw drop when I opened my email and said told what my check was. So, and so the work pays off. It does. Maybe not in a week or a month or two, but hang in there. The work definitely pays off. And yeah, I was eavesdropping on my sister when she was listening to a presentation about the ice for inflammation. And that worked so well for me. I bought into the Edge. And after that, I think it was the Glow Shield when that came out. I finally just went gold and came in and started, I don't know, working with it full time. So.
And how long have you been in it now?
I think I bought my first product in 2019, something like that, but it was only in the last 2 years that I've actually been doing business as far as being a little more. I still don't call myself a salesman. I am not pushy. If you're not interested, we change the subject. But it's been in the last 2 years that I've gotten a little more attuned to the people around me complaining about this or commenting on that and saying, hey, I can help with that if you want me to. So, so basically, business-wise, 2 years at the most.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to comment about this, and this is kind of big picture of Zalise over the last number of years. When Zalise started, it was created by someone who had a lot of Stephen and Angie, mostly Stephen Thompson, who had a lot of experience and success and making a lot of money in the direct selling industry. And the way that they used to do that was by selling the most expensive product packages that you could. That's where people made the money and then try to duplicate that. After we came through the pandemic, and whether that was what did it or not, we don't know. This may have happened in the industry anyway with the growth of social media and other ways of doing business. One of the things that we, as the advisory council, began to really push for years ago was kind of a model change. And until Angie became the CEO, Angie Thompson, who's now the CEO, I don't feel like they were open to the model change. And so all the people that made the money were those who were really into building business, like really business builders. And you had to have that mindset and almost that business acumen, that maturity, that drive, that almost type A-ish. Well, Judy's not type A-ish, and there's a lot of people that aren't. I wouldn't even say Sandy and Kathy are type A. I am more so, but nonetheless, in that structural change that's happened in the pay compensation, what Judy and people like this, product sharers, we wanted our product sharers to generate income for themselves, more income, right? So if you're a business builder, you can see a product sharer's success, and kind of begin building your business that way. But one of the things you want to do is find a lot of Judys, a lot of Sandy and Kathys who are product sharers so that they're making money in their way. But you as a business builder, really have to work with them and train them and develop them. And that's what Lisa has done such a great job at over the
That
years.
was, yes, amen.
And so I just, I love, Shayla, your question, because there's a lot to that. But we are learning now and seeing product sharers generating income for themselves more and more. And we want that to be encouragement to people who are really product sharers, becoming builders or not. But if you have the mindset to build, then you get more of these type people as that. So anyway, that's just kind of a quick deal.
And I wanted to introduce you guys to another. Speaking of amazing wellness resources, Gina is on camera here, and if you guys can see Gina, she is a really, really dear friend of mine from when I was at Walton Family Whole Health and Fitness in Bentonville, and she's a yoga master. She does Reiki. She teaches sound bath. She is a whole health facilitator. She just has so many gifts and skills, and I call her a healer. She also works in the recovery area. And so I've always admired Gina, and really know that with our transition to the customer growth bonus, anybody who identifies with wellness, there's a potential to help them expand their revenue base to incorporating some of these products. So Gina, thank you for joining us. I know you've already taught like 6 classes today or something crazy like that. But thank you for being on to our first call, and tell us, why is Elise for you?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. It's great to meet you and happy to be here. And as Lisa said, she and I worked together, and I've just had the opportunity to listen to both she and Hal now for 2 years or so, year and a half or so, about the products at Zalise. And first of all, Shayla, I want to say to you, um, you're going to do great at this. I had a 26-year career at Kraft Foods, so partner company, and my job went away and I was let go, and that was back in 2015. And it's almost 11 years later, and I'm here doing great, and you're going to do great too. Um, and that really, started me. I would have stayed for craft with Kraft forever. I wanted to, and it was the easy thing to do. But honestly, being forced to make a change led me down a little bit of well, not a little bit, a lot of an entrepreneurial path that I wouldn't have gone down otherwise. And it started with helping to start a big film festival here in our area, something I never would have done, not my thing. Very entrepreneurial, and I just kept building those skills. And then one thing led to another, and I started a nonprofit, and through that work I started doing well-being work. And then I meet people like Lisa and Hal who continue to educate me and expand my thinking. And so here I am. So first of all, good luck to you, and you're going to do great. And so then, why is the lease? I'm just going to speak real honestly, Lisa.
Yeah, sure.
I was kind of resistant to this at first.
We've never experienced that from
I'm
Like
anybody.
sure
98% of the world. Yeah,
I'm sure y'all never experienced it.
it's no secret.
I was resistant, and honestly, part of it was being closed-minded about hemp products. I had lost my oldest child to addiction. I was working in the recovery space, and I just didn't want to hear anything about CBD. Nothing. I really didn't want to hear about it. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to think about it. I didn't have the capacity to think about it. Had too much other stuff going on. And so, hats off to Lisa and Hal, because they didn't beat me over the head about it. They just, Lisa would mention it occasionally whenever I'd see her or talk to her. I tried one or two of the products. I had one of my younger sons try Vibe, and he liked it. I actually tried the Ultracell and loved it, the topical, and loved it. And it helped me immediately. But honestly, it still took me a minute I mean, like a year, whatever, a minute or a year, it's all the same when you get to be my age. Um, it just took me a minute to really be more open to thinking about it. But as Lisa said, doing this well-being work, I can teach a yoga class, I can offer them sound healing and Reiki and all these things, and they tell me they feel better and it calms them and this, that, and the other. But over the last year, individuals kept coming back still with the same, I'm stressed, I can't sleep, I need to lose weight. In doing offering the modalities that I offer, I can think of numerous clients where they did see improvement and they have improved, and just different biological, different functions have changed and improved and they're doing better. But still, there was something missing. And so the other day, I was listening to a client talk about her joint pain and this, that, and the other. And as I listened, I kept thinking, well, she needs to go to this and she needs to go to that. She needs to go to a chiropractor and she needs to do this. And then I remembered the ultrasound and I thought about ice and I was like, or maybe she needs to try those products. And so I'm new into this. I talked with Lisa, like you all trust her. What did I do, Lisa? I bought the gold, right?
Yeah. Yes, you did.
And I wasn't really planning to do that at all. But I decided I'm just going to go ahead and trust and do it. And so I'm really glad I did as I've started, talking with people, product sharing, that sort of thing. Honestly, the conversations come pretty naturally, and I'm finding that I'm able to have more and more of them because now I'm attuned to listening, I think, more deeply to what people are saying and what they're not saying about how they're feeling. And then, like one of you said earlier, I mean, I think Judy maybe said, I'll mention it. I'll mention a product, and if they don't seem interested, I'll just kind of back off. But if they do, that if they ask a question, then I'll continue to share. And so I don't know, Lisa, I've gotten three VIPs in the last week and a half or 2 weeks or something. I don't know.
Are we ready to give Gina a hand for that?
So,
Look, she's like 3 minutes old
yay.
in the business, and
Yeah.
she's enrolled three, so
Yeah.
she's positioning herself for the customer growth bonus. And just Gina, I've just been amazed because you just have reported to me that you've been able to really introduce these products to clients that you knew really well, and
Mhm.
just make that connection of them with the company. And that's really the name of the game. It's inches. It's just one conversation,
Yeah.
one customer at a time. And
Yeah.
that's what I believe has really, really changed. When the customer growth bonus came, then it really changed the way that we're compensated and caught up with really how I have done the business for quite a long time. And
Mhm.
so for people who love people and who can discipline themselves to listen to people, Jenny Todd, you're a really good representative of that. I wanted to shout out to Jenny. She put me on the phone with a lady she was eating lunch with today, who is just delightful and who's very, very interested in wellness in Pensacola, Florida. And that's the kind of one little inch at a time, the consistent inches that we actually just do on a daily, on a weekly basis are really what yield results here. And so, Gina, I know it's just going to continue, and I want to welcome you to our tribe. You're just, we're going to be learning from you. And if you are in the area tomorrow, come over to Rogers and come help us
Yeah.
launch Shayla.
Yeah.
Yes, that would
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
fantastic. I do have
Yeah.
another question for you too. You had a huge barrier with the CBD oil because of your child, and how did you get over that and break through?
Honestly, I just finally decided I was just going to sit down and educate myself because um I've been a fan of supplements. I've used a number of supplements for years. Some I've used more than others, but in the products that I've chosen in the past, I've seen and felt the benefits. And all this with CBD, honestly, I was just like, I don't want to hear it. I don't, I just didn't care. And but it hasn't gone away. And the lease products haven't gone away. And I think I kind of started paying attention when and I'm sorry, who's the lady that owns the company?
Angie.
Angie, sorry.
That's okay.
When Angie stepped into that role, sorry, terrible names. When Angie stepped into that role, I paid attention and followed. But to answer your question, I don't know. I don't know how I got past the barrier other than I just decided, all right, all these products are out there. They must be helping people. Honestly, I do have a brother-in-law who uses a CBD product for chronic pain he has, and I know it really helps him. But even with that, it just still took me a while. And so finally, I just thought, I'm just going to research it and see, make my own decision. I didn't want anybody else to educate me on it or try to push me on it. I just wanted to make the decision for myself. And so hearing Lisa talk about the endocannabinoid system, and she had sent me some information about that over time. I really sat down one day and just started looking at all of it. And honestly, as Hal knows, like in the recovery work, um, we learn about how opioids bind to the receptors in the brain and how it like a key in fitting into a lock and how then people get addicted. Well, okay, if that's true, then doesn't the same hold true for, the healthier products, I guess is the way to say it, the non-psychoactive products that we can put into our brain. And so I think just at some point that like aha came on for me that like, oh, okay, if someone can use an opioid and it locks into that um transmitter and it does its job, then if we take these flavonoid, these plants, these cannabinoids, and put those in, and they lock into those, they bind to those receptors, then they would do their job as well. And that makes sense to me. And it makes sense to me that something natural that's been proven to be healthier work, not harm, um, that makes more sense to me than some synthetic compounds that are put together in a lab. So I think that's what finally started to. I mean, I'm turning 59 this week, and I'm a left-handed Aggie from Texas who's had brain surgery. So I'm a little slow, y'all. It takes me time. And so I think it just finally like came on for me like, oh, this is actually a healthy, positive alternative to what people are being given from their doctors, and for me who has chronic neck pain, what I would be given. And so I don't know, I just with that I decided to try it, but I really had to do my own research and figure that out for myself.
I love
Great
that.
question.
That's a great question. We've encountered, speaking of recovery, then, the quote in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous talks about what keeps people in everlasting ignorance is contempt prior to investigation. And so a lot of people in the world have contempt for what we have to offer, even our business structure and all that, because they've not really investigated it. But once they truly and honestly take the time to investigate it, which they only do in their own time, not in our time, their time. It's a great story. It's a great testimony, I guess, Gina, to how you came to come around for yourself and for others. And thank you for sharing that. And great question, Shay.
Yeah. And I want to introduce you guys to one other person that y'all have not met yet. If I can get her on, her name's Daphne, and she is in Texas. And I had she's going, ugh, I'm texting.
Yeah.
Daphne, do you mind coming on screen just for a moment and tell us who you are and why is Zelise, why you've allowed yourself to be drug into Zelise with us? Where's Daphne?
Not drugged, drug.
Drug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of substances, right? Daphne, are you there? I don't see her. I don't hear from her yet.
She may be rebuffing your on
She
screen
might be
thing.
rebuffing.
You can
Can
just
you
talk.
unmute Daphne?
There you
Are you hearing me? I don't see her yet. This is really just so you guys know that when you find amazing people, whether you're when you met them at an MBA networking event, like I met Shayla, or when you've just admired their work as you watch them in the workplace, which is how I met Gina. And then I met Daphne, and hopefully she'll be able to unmute here in a minute. But I met Daphne when I was doing nurse advocacy work. And even though we were completely virtual, I so admired her courage and her just, her husband had a terminal diagnosis, and watching her navigate that whole situation gave me so much respect for her.
There she is.
Daphne, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can
There,
you
there
hear
she
me?
is. There she is.
I can hear you, and thank you so much for being on, girl. Thank you. I'm talking about you behind your back.
To navigate the phone and it don't cooperate. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. But listen, I was talking a little bit about how I met you. And do you mind just telling us, why Zalise for you? Because, I know this is really your first elevation call, and thank you for just being willing to be on. But tell us why Zalise and just a little bit about you.
Okay. And thanks for letting me know ahead of time I had to be on camera. I look horrible today, Lisa.
You look
You
great.
look great. Stop it.
In your Bucky's t-shirt.
Yes, in my Bucky's t-shirt. I'm a Texas girl. So, who was the other one? Was it Jean? Was it Gina? Who was talking a minute ago? Was that Gina?
Gina and
She
Shayla.
was from Texas? Yes. Yay. Okay, so what are you asking me? How we met? Yes, we met when Lisa was doing nurse advocacy, and my husband was terminally ill with cancer, and it was just a horrible, horrible time. But she and one of the other ladies that Lisa introduced me to through that time helped me navigate that whole mess of a system that we call a medical system. I have a whole lot of not nice things to say about that, but I will spare you all of that. It's just a hard path to go down. And anyway, it was several months that, I had to work with them. And so I got to know Lisa very well just through that. And then she eventually introduced me to the Zalise product, because as you can mention, can imagine, when you're navigating through something like that, your central nervous system is a mess and you constantly stay in fight or flight. And I think I live in fight system. And so she kept saying, Daphne, is there any way I could get you to look at this product? I really think you need it. And it wasn't the Vibe. It was, what's the other one called?
It was Ultracell at the time.
Ultracell. Okay. Yeah. So that's the one, that's the product that I started on, to try to kind of help, keep me a little bit more level through the day and not just, constantly all over the place. And it really did help. And I was not new to the CBD industry or any of that. I have done a lot of nutraceuticals, and I'm not a big fan of Western medicine at all. So anyway, it was just, it was a good experience. I loved the product. I stayed on the product. And then, Lisa and I've just stayed in touch from whenever that was back in 2023. And then when the Be Fit came out, she contacted me and asked me, wanted to introduce me to that product and see if it was something I thought I could, work into my life and go over some of the health issues. Cause, we all have health issues, whether we know it or not. But just about everybody has some kind of health issues because our systems are so messed up. Our food system's messed up. Our air's messed up. Our water's messed up. And everybody has something wrong with them. So there's probably a product within this line that's going to be able to touch somebody. And it's just like, as Judy was saying earlier, it's just a matter of listening to people and not being afraid to speak out and just go, hey, just like she said, I have something that can help you. So anyway, I just within this last week, I just had some changes within my work cycle. I work in politics. I know that doesn't excite everybody, but that's what I do. And so I've just had some changes, and I need to make some extra money. And, Lisa had kind of been talking to me a little bit about that. As I told you, I've built many businesses before. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and I've been in many not many, but a few direct marketing companies. So, just kind of been thinking, I know as a widow, I need to have more than one stream of income. You find yourself in a situation where it's a little bit scary. your bills keep going up and your pay seems to start going back or it doesn't move, or you've been a long time job and you lose your job. So I know this, and I knew this throughout my career because I've typically had more than one stream of income. And now I found myself in a place where I'm back down to one stream of income. So I was like, yep, nope, it's time to make a change. And maybe like a lot of you on the call, I I have been an entrepreneur for so many years. I do not want to go back into the workforce to a 9 to 5 job. I will not be strapped to somebody's desk, and I'm not going to let somebody determine what I'm worth. I've done that before, and I did take, there was a short period of time within the last couple of years that I did that. It didn't last very long. I lasted for about 2 months because I just don't like working for other people. I'll just be real honest about it. Because I've been on the other side for far too long. I like to control my schedule, my time, and the amount of money that I make. So I haven't made any money with Zalise. I haven't done anything. I don't even talk to anybody about a product yet because I don't know, when did this just happen, Lisa? Friday, Thursday?
Yeah, I think we were on a call with Angie, our CEO, and then she's like, "You got to talk to Louise." So we ended up on this like 2.5 hour Zoom. God bless her, with all the corporate people. But that's okay. This is where we all start, and we're just
Right.
excited to have you on the call. You're in Waco, which
Yes.
6.5 hours from me, and
Yes.
it's reachable. So I'm like, hey, Daphne, let's build this together and let's help a lot of people together. And she said,
I said yes.
yes is the answer
Yeah.
that we're looking for. Yes, yes. So
Yes.
I want to show you guys. Just thank you so much, Daphne. We
You're welcome.
already
Thank
love
you.
you. I haven't even met her in like real life yet, and I feel like I know her really, really well. But and you got lots of hearts coming from Gina, and people are hearting you here. One
See
thing
a
I want,
couple of them. I can't see everybody because I'm on my phone, but I saw a couple. For thank
you
y'all.
got
Thank
some
y'all.
hearts
Appreciate
coming
it
your
so
way,
much.
girl. I'm going to see if I can share something on screen here. And this is just one last little thing. I know we're over time. Can you guys see my screen here?
Yes.
Judy? Okay. So this is what I want you to tattoo on your navel.
That's one of Lisa's phrases that I'm like, that she uses often. Just giving y'all heads up.
Just
Tattoo this on your
this
navel.
is really
Like we're
important.
gonna slap you around kind of thing.
Yeah. Those are
some of
okay.
Lisa's phrases.
This is part of the inching that I'm talking about, because this customer growth bonus has really changed the business in a very big way. And so a lot of people said, oh, but the doubling of that cash customer growth bonus went away. And I'm like, no, it didn't. So I want to show you guys right now, for people who really want to help people with their health, the customer growth bonus, this is what they're offering this month. And this is something that all of us can really benefit from. We know the numbers: 3 VIP customers with 50 in business volume gets an additional $100.
That's the middle column. Look at the middle
column. But what we now know is that with $495 in new business, that just means people that didn't exist in your business last month, that you're basically bringing in new business. If you bring in $495, just remember that number, because that is a very significant number as our productivity recommendation every single month. And that's something that Hal and I have been really working on. I think we've hit that every
We've hit
single
it every
month over the
month
last
intentionally because
several
we
years.
intend it to be that way.
That's
So
just our minimum for new volume for us. And when we hit that, it doubles the customer growth bonus. So it is still possible to get to $200 for 3 customers, to get $400 for 6 customers, and so on and so forth, all the way up to 25 VIP customers. That's $2,000 of predictable income. They say during the month of January, but what we typically see is this is what their test period is, and then they will go ahead and adopt this permanently into the compensation plan. So I wanted to make sure that you guys could see this. You could learn that the $495 is the most important part. Does this make sense to everybody? Okay. Let me go ahead and stop share. That is really what I wanted to share, and how I'll let you kind of summarize this, but is that because of the customer growth bonus, now when we grow in inches, we can grow in dollars too. And prior to the customer growth bonus, it just the payout on a little chunk of volume was not significant enough to notice. But now if we can just, be consistent in those inches. And I know I just saw a quote from Angie that said, consistency is how belief turns into results, one day, one choice, one step at a time. And that's really, today is just holding our inches and moving forward with courage and enthusiasm. Judy, you and Susan have really modeled that this week with courage, entertaining corporate, which is not easy, but just one customer, one phone call, one step forward in personal development is really what we want to encourage all of us to do as we move forward. Did you want to add anything?
Do you want me to?
I want you to just go ahead and put a bow on it, Hal.
Oh, I don't know about Bo. Um, First of all, I just want to say I think it's a really good call tonight. And what was that? Oh, interesting. The topic tonight, I asked Lisa, what are we going to do for, what are you going to do? What are you going to do for a topic tonight? She goes, I want to do the inch forward thing. We've got several guests and new people to talk to, which was delightful tonight. But mastery, what are we calling this? Mastery, wellness mastery quest. This is new language for us in 2026. But what I want to say about the ladies that came on here tonight, these are relationships that neither one of us, Lisa didn't have 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And these are all new people to us in our lives, and they are brand new in some cases, but not really. I mean, for me, but it's been over time that these relationships have been established, not just created, but established in trust, established in communication. And that's a part of the inching along in life, is building those relationships over time. And so, I want this to be an encouragement to our team who's been involved with us and with Zalise for a number of years, that there are new people to be met and new relationships to be established over time. And one of the great things now with the new compensation plan that we've pointed out tonight is that we think that you'll receive more pay just as a business person and doing the daily things from Zalise over the next months and years ahead, because of the way they've changed the structure of our pay. And again, I just want to point out that all of you know, well, most of you know, that what we showed you tonight is just is a piece of the pay structure. There's a whole lot more to it. That when you actually build a team, they have different ways of paying you more. So, but if you get this piece and you understand the inching and moving and leaning forward, there's just value in that. And so, anyway, my wife's awesome. Did y'all know that Lisa's just incredible? She's absolutely phenomenal.
Amen.
Oh, Jenny Todd. Well, listen, guys, that's it. That's what we have today. And I know we've gone over a little bit. Thank you, Hal. Thank you to everybody who had the courage to get on screen. Shayla, to Gina, to Daphne, to Jenny, to Judy, Susan Everett. I see that you were you got on eventually. I was going to just give you a little shout out for the work that you did over the weekend. Susan put me on a Zoom with a business prospect who's coming in at gold, and that happened from the work she did with corporate here. So you guys,
no, it happened because you gave up a lot of time on Saturday because we had a miscommunication, and so here you and I cleared our calendars to be there, and we spent time waiting thinking she was going to come, and then it was like 2 hours later we went through the whole thing again. So it's you, girl. I appreciate the time. I appreciate the time that you spent with me on Saturday working her through this process. It was awesome.
Yeah, but the truth is you met her through networking, correct?
Yeah, and we'll call it courting. I've been courting her for, gosh, 2 years probably, at least. She expressed some interest, and, then her business, she was trying to get her business to a certain point before she felt like this would be a product that she could add to it. And so it's, but I kept in touch with her and kept asking her how things were going, and, kept interested in her, not just as a customer for me, but in her. And
And it was
paid off.
hair rejuvenation clinic, first one that we've really had an opportunity to really to learn from. So it's just you guys just it's a great way to close, Susan, because 2 years is a little bit of time, but you have kept the door open. You've kept the relationship going, and that's just about caring about people. You do that really well. So really proud of this team, you guys. There's a lot of great things that are going to be happening in 26, and we're all on a quest together. We're mastering this beautiful wellness plan, and the customer growth bonus is part of that. So you guys have a great evening. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about products on the Freedom Call at 8 o'clock Central.
So you have to have an eye on the national championship game with IU beating
With
Miami with one eye over there and one eye over here. I do that all the time, I promise you. You can do it.
You guys, thank you so much for being on tonight. You guys, and thank you for being gracious about the call running late. So we'll post this on our Wellness Quest site on Facebook. Lots of love to you guys. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Natalie says bye.